welcome to my channel, The Universal Euphoria. My name is Roni and thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about a topic that I asked you guys on social media what you want to hear about, and I got a lot of different responses, but they're all wrapped up kind of in this similar topic, and that is loving someone with depression. Now, I myself personally have battled depression, and I can also speak from experience of how to date someone who has also gone through depression, as well as being friends with someone, maybe having a family member. All of these tips can help you with all of those areas, be it you're dating them, you're friends with them, you're family with them, whatever it is. So stay tuned for more advice on how to do that. Okay guys, so the first thing I would advise for you guys to do is to check up on them. It could be as simple as calling them, texting them, letting them know like, hey, I'm here and I just want to know how your day is going. Oftentimes I enjoyed it when someone just came to be there with me. You know, I was in a very upset or sad mood and I really didn't want to do anything or go anywhere, but to know that you're there and you just want to hang out with me. We might just watch TV, or maybe we'll just do homework if I felt like doing homework, or maybe we'll just kind of sit there and just like be together. Those are the true friends, or those people who you know really care about you, when they can be with you in your space and you guys can do absolutely nothing. And it made me personally feel a lot better, and someone who I was with that also went through depression, I know that that also made them feel very good. So that is what I recommend or advise. Same thing if you have a family member, grandparent, best friend, whatever it is. If they're going through something, just being there or checking on them is one of the best things that you can do for them. The second thing I would advise, and this is so very important, is do not use their depression against them. That is so horrible. I hate when people use the skeletons inside of someone's closet against them. I think that is absolutely disgusting, and it is very wrong. If you know that someone is having a hard time controlling their own emotions, they are not able to help themselves essentially when it comes to feeling better, don't use that against them, especially if someone's been diagnosed. Depression is something that is very serious. It is a medical condition. People oftentimes look at mental health as something that's like a scrape or a scar. You know, it's just something there, it's just a boo-boo, but it's a lot more to it than that. It's actually something that is psychological, and it can physically have a toll on you as well. So don't use depression against someone else. If they are going through something, be understanding. You know, it's never okay for them to lash out on you, of course, but don't use their sickness against them. Be understanding, and then if you need to stand up for yourself, do so without using what it is that they're going to and throwing them at them. So as an example, for those who may not understand what I'm getting at, is never tell someone like somebody's going through something bad and just say, well, you're just always so depressed and you're always so unhappy and I can't deal with it. That's never right. Like, if you can't deal with it, it's okay to say that, hey, you need to have a break, or you do need to separate yourself from that person, but don't throw what it is that they can't necessarily at times control at them. Depression is something that can be self-help, but for some people it's more than that. Some people do need to be on medication, and that's completely fine, but don't use it against them and make them feel worse, because you're not helping the situation, you're only hurting it. And you know, it shouldn't make you feel better to let somebody know about that, but if it does, you might need to kind of look into what it is that you got going on yourself. The third thing I would advise is to be honest. Like I said, if someone is draining you, and it can be very draining to be in a relationship or a friendship with somebody who is going through depression, because it takes a lot of emotion, and to give into that person is very draining. If you have to take a break, be honest. If you feel like it's a situation that you cannot be a part of, be honest, not just with them but with yourself, because it would be very unfortunate if as a result of trying to be in someone's life who you just feel like it's not working out and you cannot be there, and you're not strong enough to deal with the situation, that you continue to be there, and either you're hurting them or you're hurting yourself, because you matter as well. Never forget that in this case, that you matter as well. Take the time away from them. Be very honest. If you do plan on coming back, be very honest that I just need a break. I need a break from this situation. It's very draining, or I just need some time to recuperate. I'm still here. Feel free to text me. You can call me, but I need a bit of a break from you at this time. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's very understandable. I used to go ghost on people and not tell them. I don't advise that, because I know that that can definitely make situations a lot worse. But yeah, just be very honest. Another thing is to, of course, just be a really good friend. I remember one time I was really going through it, and my little brother bought me like this whole thing of Oreo cookies, and that was just like the best thing ever. And it's so simple, but it made me feel better because it made me realize that he was thinking about me. Or it wasn't Oreos, it was sugar cookies, but regardless, he bought me cookies, and it made me, you know, understand that I wasn't in this alone. He was thinking about me. He understood that I was going through something. And at that time, I didn't know that I had depression. I just knew that I was very, very sad. And so for him to like buy those for me and just to, you know, do something nice for me made me feel really good, especially because we were really, really young. And, you know, it wasn't like he had a job or anything. He literally like went into his piggy bank and like got the little bit of change that he had, went to the store, got me these cookies, and it just made me feel so thankful and so happy that I have him inside of my life. So sometimes getting a little gift, writing a note, things like that, just being a good friend to someone is one of the best things that you can do. A lot of these things that I'm going to talk about is one of the best things that you can do. So take your pick, but giving things to someone to show them that you care or doing something sweet can be very helpful. I was actually online and I saw one of the cutest ideas ever. Someone had, on the pills that someone had to take for their depression, their sister wrote little love notes on there, and they just said, oh, today's gonna be a great day, stay positive, I'm rooting for you, things like that, and just put the stickers on the pill bottle. And it was just like the cutest thing ever, because just to look at that before and have that reminder that someone cares about you, someone's rooting for you, someone is your cheerleader, can definitely make you feel a lot better. Another thing that I would advise is to be a good listener. So listening without talking, that is active listening. Not everything warrants a response. Sometimes somebody just wants you there so that they know that they have someone that they can rely on and that they have someone that they can speak with. So learning how to listen without giving advice is something that's extremely important. There's sometimes or some days where it won't make any sense as to why someone is upset about something that is going through depression. And so there is no advice to give. But being able to be there and be reassuring, you know, give a couple of uh-huhs, mm-hms, and just, you know, being there for them and reminding them that at that time, if you do say anything, that you're there, is one of the most important things ever. You know, if they're talking about a situation that's bad and they do want a response, make sure that, of course, you are engaging inside of that. But if they're just, you know, wanting to tell you how their day is going, wanting to vent, wanting to be very raw with you, let them do that, and know that you don't always have to reply to what it is that they're saying. Very, very important as well, understand when they need help. So some people do need more help than just an active listening friend. Some people do need to seek medical advice, you know, and not necessarily just to get on medications, but sometimes somebody needs to speak with a professional who can give them additional tools that they may not already be utilizing to help themselves. If that is a case, you know, depending on the age of your friend or depending on your relationship, you may have to seek out their family member and let them know, hey, this person really does need to speak to someone. They need to speak to someone, and you have to be very honest about that and know when the time is that, you know, they really should be speaking with someone. They're feeling like they can't get out of bed and it's been more than a couple days, probably something that you want to let their family know about. Or if, you know, this is somebody who's older, somebody that you're in a relationship with, knowing when to say, hey, let's try something different. And I think the way that you approach it is very important. Depending on their culture or their family or their ideal or ideas towards mental health, they may not be very gung-ho on talking to someone professionally about it. So the way that you present the idea can have a giant influence on how someone sees it. You know, don't tell them that they're crazy and they're like, oh, you're crazy, you need to talk to someone, but more so like, I think let's try something different. I think that that's the best way to tell somebody something. Let's try something different. Let's talk to somebody. You know, just get an idea. We don't have to go back if you don't want, but I think that you should at least have a conversation with that person. And that can be very helpful. They can find that they really enjoy it, and that's somebody that they can consistently talk to, and now they're getting the professional help that they may need. So know when somebody does need additional help and who it is that you can reach out to or what avenue you can take in order to get them to the point where they would feel comfortable seeking that additional help. When you are dealing with somebody who has depression, you are going to have to know how to love even when it is hard. I think that's true for any relationship though. Some people feel like when they are with somebody who has depression, or friends with somebody, or family with somebody who has depression, it's more hard. And that may or may not be true, but from my experience and just the various of friendships and relationships that I've had, loving someone when it's hard is an important skill to have, period. It's going to be difficult if someone is combating everything that you're saying and they are going against it, or you feel like you are being unheard. You have to be strong. You have to really be strong and know how to love them when it gets to that point. Know how to be understanding of the things that they are doing. This does not mean by any means to let them walk all over you, but it does mean understanding that sometimes you have to still give heart when you feel like it is being blocked. Also know that sometimes loving someone can also mean giving them space. So again, back to the whole draining thing. If you are feeling drained from a situation and you don't feel like you have any more love to give, you might have to take a step back and try to avoid getting to the point where you feel like there's just nothing else to give. Try to take that time for yourself so you can recuperate, so that you're prepared and you're ready to give that person that love. Another thing I would advise is that you know how to have difficult conversations. So with that being said, when you are affiliated with somebody who has depression, it may get to a point where it is very negative or very dark. Try to keep everything on a positive note as much as you can. But if it gets to a point where they're kind of scaring you, or they're saying some things that are making you extremely uncomfortable, know how to have those conversations. One of the most important things that you should know how to do with anybody, but especially someone who is dealing with depression, is asking whether or not someone is suicidal. That is a very uncomfortable question for a lot of people. Practice saying that if you have never done it. So right now we'll practice it together. Ask, are you feeling suicidal? Are you feeling suicidal? Do you feel like you would like to hurt yourself? Being specific with that question is extremely important. I've had many suicidal trainings just because I've worked with a lot of team groups and teen. And so that's something that I oftentimes have to go through in order to work with those different groups of people. You need to know and be comfortable and confident in saying those things, because it usually warrants a follow-up question. How are you planning on doing this? When did you start thinking this way? Did you talk to other people about it? You of course want to, at that time, get the correct authorities to them, be it, an ambulance, be it their parents, whoever it is, having someone talk to them so that they can go into depth about the fact that this person is having this suicidal ideation. They need to get the help that they need. If someone is saying that they feel that way, but they don't have any, they haven't planned anything, then they might just have the thought. And at that time, it's kind of your call as to whether or not you say something to someone about it. I personally would, because, anytime someone would confide in me about that type of situation, I take it seriously. And so I would go to the correct authorities. If they are feeling like, no, I just kind of had the thoughts, but I'm not, and you really feel like they're really not, they're just kind of saying things and they just don't feel good right now, there are plenty of different hotlines. There's toll-free numbers that they can call, and there's suicide hotlines. These are people who have been trained to have these conversations with them and kind of like remind them of their worth. You remind them all the time. So if someone is still getting to that point, maybe it's time that they have a conversation with someone else, and it might take a while for them to see someone professionally. Behavioral health clinics do get busy schedules as well. So having that toll-free number is always an option, and I'll link it down below if I haven't already, just so that you guys know where you can connect or contact for them to get the help that they need. And another thing is you want to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. I've kind of said this with all of the tips, but it's really important, guys. Like, you have to take care of yourself. Depression comes in in various facets. Some people just shut down. I was one of those people. I shut down, and I don't know when I was going to come out of it. I would just shut down. I would have no reason at all to shut down, but that's exactly what I did. And so for someone who's in a relationship with me or friends with me, if they are trying to help me, I would always remind them, like, kind of do something for yourself. Like, I'm good, I'm gonna take a nap. Go do something for you. Because I know me, and I understood my depression. I knew that there was really no reason for it most of the time. And so because of that, I knew that somebody who's going to give me love needed to take the time for themselves. So make sure you are being mindful of your emotions. Check in on yourself. You know, how am I feeling about this situation? Am I helping them at the best that I can because I'm fully recharged? Or am I feeling kind of down myself? If I'm feeling down myself, I might need to take some time for myself. Okay? Alright guys, I hope that was very helpful for you guys. I know that usually my videos are a little bit on a more lighter and upscale beat, but I wanted to make sure that you guys got that. That was a huge question. I think I got that question like 5 times on my Snapchat, so I was like, I want to make sure that you guys understand and are being very proactive about, you know, how to be in a relationship with somebody who is dealing with depressions. If you guys want additional tips, I have plenty more that I can always give, just because, like I said, I've been in a relationship with it, and then also I deal with it myself. So I could even bring in Jordan if you guys would like to hear his perspective on it. But let me know in the comments down below what tip you found was very helpful, or what tip you would advise somebody else to do. Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment down below, don't forget to share the video, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for tuning in.